Hello everyone, this is me, Fred, and this is another behind the scenes video. And I'm going to talk to you about animations and my work in general, my work with the YoGPoD, my role in the YoGPoD, why I started doing these videos, and that sort of thing in general. Try and explain to you why I did the fridge tags about a year ago now. And also sort of explain just my mission statement, if you will, my agenda behind doing these videos, if I have one. I don't really think I have one. I'm just doing this for fun, really, and all the money. I mean, you might have noticed that anytime I write the word animation, and when I, at the end of each video, add animation by Fred, I write animation within bunny ears, quotation marks as normal people say it. And it's not because I don't really trust what I do, or I don't do it in any sort of sarcastic sense. I literally mean it. I don't think that this is animations, and I believe the word animation is used purely purely as a token word. It's the word that most people are accustomed to. It's the word that most people are familiar with. And I mentioned this before. What my videos actually are is illustrative slideshows. But the word animation is so much more catchier and understandable than illustrative slideshow. I think a more technical explanation of what my animations could be is animatics, which is sort of the stage between storyboard and animation. It is essentially a very rough form of animation without real sort of movement and without lip syncing and so on. And I don't consider myself to be an animator. I think it's one of those labels I've been labeled, quite understandably I might add, but it's something that I don't really see myself as. I am a cartoonist, and I have been drawing comics since first I can remember. It's my sort of genuine sort of love in that department. So doing animations is a bit of a... I am an animator by accident. That's a good word to use, accident. I did not intend for anything like this to happen. When I did the first video, which was the fridge tags, I saw it really as a one-off and as an experiment to see if I could do something set to audio, like an interactive comic of sorts. I suppose it's not interactive, but you get the point. It's some sort of hybrid entertainment art form thing. And I did the fridge tags in one afternoon as a bit of a joke. Yes, it only took me an afternoon. And then Lewis liked it so much that he wanted to post it on Blue Sapphires. At this point, Blue Sapphires wasn't as big as it is now, but it was growing quite rapidly. So I obviously said, alright. And because the videos, I'm Swedish, because the videos are as simple as they are, I was able to produce quite a lot of videos. I did a lot of videos that first sort of a few months after I got the gig, as to speak. The gig. I did a lot of videos, and they were all sort of the same quality. And around the summer 2011, if you did not know, I decided to put more attention into them, and I decided to take more time doing each one. And at this point, the YoGPoD were, growing quite big. The YoGPoD wasn't far away from reaching the 1 million subscribers. They have like 1.5 million subscribers now, so remember how we thought that those 1 million subscribers were the biggest thing ever, and now they have 1.5. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just insane. anyway, I've gotten off track. So I sort of I redid them. I redid the models, and I tried to make them look slightly better, slightly less half-assed, and I tried to pick up the animation quality as well. I wanted to put in more frames per second, I suppose. Now it's sort of 1 frame per second. It's 1 frame more or less per second, and it's sort of synchronized to the audio. But it used to be even, I mean, it used to be like 1 image every 2 or 3 seconds. So it has sort of increased the quality that way. It's obviously still not animations. And it was, I think, it was around May last year that I was first approached by Lewis, and he asked me if I wanted to get paid for my videos, which is such an odd question. And I said that yes, I'd like to be paid. It wasn't much, and it's still not much, even though it has increased since then. And slowly I sort of find myself becoming more and more involved with YoGPoD business, and I am sort of, I do think that, I think that technically I'm still a freelancer, and I do freelance work for the YoGPoD, but I am sort of a YoGPoD partner. And obviously, as I've started doing some art for SIPs as well, I am slightly in there. I have my foot in the door. I am on the sort of same level as the other guys, the other artists and people doing stuff for the YoGPoD. So, because I've seen a bit of, I have gotten a few questions from people asking me if I am in the YoGPoD family, and I suppose I am. I am at least in enough to sort of be in on YoGPoD business and so on. But I did start off as a fan. I am genuinely a fan, and I discovered the YoGPoD. I became a Yognaut at a time you actually had to discover the YoGPoD. Now you can just log into YouTube and check the front page, and there's like 10 YoGPoD videos, sometimes my own, which is insane. But it's like 10 YoGPoD videos, so it's not really, if you're a Yognaut now, I'm sorry, but you are not really, you can't really be proud to be a Yognaut because you didn't have discovered the YoGPoD. I discovered the YoGPoD back in the summer of 2010, so I was a Yognaut for about half a year, a little bit more, before I became the YoGPoD animator of sorts. And so yeah, I have been around for all this growth that the YoGPoD has recently gone through, from seeing the YoGPoD becoming quite reasonably moderately successful as a YouTube gaming channel during the Cataclysm beta, to being this, you know, huge Minecraft thing, and now seeing the YoGPoD as established veterans of YouTube commenting and broadcasting. So it has been insane, and I do feel a lot of empathy with the older fans. I'm not extremely old. I wasn't old I'm not old enough of a Yognaut to have been around with the first sort of podcasts and stuff. But I feel a lot of empathy to that whole area of Yognauts, the sort of crazy Yognauts, the people who send in strange fan art and really sort of quite dangerously insane, not safe for work fan art. And I like that group, and I sort of, when I do animation, I really want to focus on satisfying these people, because I also think that these people are the ones who really love the YoGPoD, who have been there, and I mean, who are executive producers and everything. And that's why I never really did many Minecraft references in my videos. And it's not that I don't like Minecraft. I have a texture pack, for God's sakes. Actually, I don't play much Minecraft these days. I mostly work on my texture pack. But I don't hate Minecraft. I just don't think that the YoGPoD should just be a Minecraft channel, and I don't really think that the YoGPoD should be a gaming podcast either, because it's not really a gaming podcast. It's just a sort of radio show, an amateur radio show. So I like to keep its own mythology, and I don't like to borrow imagery from games that much. Like some people actually portray Simon Lewis as Minecraft characters in their animations, which I think is sort of points at the fact that they aren't really hardcore Yognots. You know, it sort of points that they are really just Minecraft players that like the Yogscast as a bit of a Minecrafty thing. But I want to make each video feel as if it's coming from just the Yogscast place. It has a beating heart of Jaffa cakes and the voice of Brian Blessed running through its veins. So that's sort of, and that's also how I came up with my own running gags after some time. I mean, I did the fridge. I think I put the fridge, the smiling fridge, in a lot of, and almost, I mean, I think the latest one was actually last year. I should do a video with, I am doing a video right now with Simon and his mother in their kitchen, so I can put in a smiling fridge there. But I sort of, but I did decide, but that's one of the sort of running gags in my videos, a lot of smiles on everything. I think the latest one was the smile on the Scotland. And there's also been smile on a few cars, and there's been a smile on office share in the D&D podcasts, and so on. And there's a bit of that sort of running gags, because they are quite fun to do, and there's also references to the YoGPoD itself. I mentioned this in the previews behind the scenes, I believe, but there is Lewis eats his Jaffa cakes from a plate. For example, that's sort of the running gag, or something that ties it together with itself and with the YoGPoD, and not necessarily Minecraft or even World of Warcraft. And it's not that I don't like those games, it's just that the YoGPoD should feel like its own, sort of like its own atmosphere around it. It shouldn't be a pastiche of anything else. I think that hopefully what I just said, or actually what I just recorded myself saying, I didn't record that in one session. I sort of recorded different bits and then taped them together. So hopefully what I just said was coherent enough for you to understand what I meant. And it was just sort of, I'm going to try and do more of these videos, because I'm not really, I'm quite a talkative person, so I don't really have a problem with filling one of these videos out. It's just a slightly problem. It's a different thing from recording yourself speaking from actually speaking. It's, your head doesn't really work the same way. You have to sort of force the words out of your mouth in a comfortable way. So, but I'm probably going to make more of these videos. But this was trying to explain the fridge tax, my notion behind doing these videos, my manifesto. It's a Dadaist manifesto.